Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, coin enthusiasts, collectors, and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing and potentially valuable coins in the world of U.S. numismatics, the 1982 Washington quarter dollar. If you thought quarters were just everyday pocket change, think again. The 1982 Washington quarter, especially in specific conditions, could be worth far more than its face value. You'll want to stick around for the full video, because by the end, we'll reveal how much this seemingly ordinary coin can fetch if you have one in pristine condition, or if you happen to stumble upon one with a rare minting feature. Let's begin by taking a look at the history behind the 1982 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, and over the years, it has become an iconic part of U.S. currency. As with many coins, the design of the Washington quarter has remained largely the same since its introduction. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the well-known portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This design, created by artist John Flanagan, has been a fixture on the coin for nearly a century, and it remains one of the most recognizable coin designs in U.S. history. However, by the time 1982 rolled around, the quarter had undergone several transitions in terms of its composition and minting process. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a significant change to the composition of the quarter, switching from a 90% silver coin to a copper-nickel alloy. This shift was primarily due to rising silver prices and the need to conserve the nation's silver supply. As a result, the 1982 Washington quarter, like its counterparts from the late 1960s onwards, was made of a copper-nickel composition rather than silver. This is an important distinction when it comes to the value of these coins, as the value of the metal itself is much lower in these quarters compared to the older, silver-based coins. Despite the change in composition, the 1982 Washington quarter still carries significant historical and numismatic value. By this time, the U.S. economy had experienced some turbulent moments, including a recession in the early 1980s, but the country was also in a period of recovery. Coins from this period of history carry with them a sense of the economic climate and the changes happening in the country. For collectors, coins like the 1982 Washington quarter are sought after not only for their historical significance but also for the rarity of certain versions, mint marks, and features. Speaking of mint marks, this is where things get interesting. Like many other coins, the 1982 Washington quarter was minted at multiple U.S. mint facilities. The primary mint marks for the 1982 quarter were the P for Philadelphia, the D for Denver, and the S for San Francisco. Most of the 1982 quarters were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the S mint mark being a bit rarer. However, the real intrigue for collectors lies in the subtle variations in these mint marks and the rare features that might be present on certain coins from this year. For instance, coins from the San Francisco Mint were part of proof sets, meaning they were struck with extra care to achieve a higher level of detail and finish. These proof coins were not meant for general circulation and were primarily intended for collectors. As such, proof coins are often in better condition than those produced for circulation, which can make them far more valuable. If you happen to come across a 1982 Washington quarter from the San Francisco Mint, especially one in mint condition, you may have a piece of numismatic history that could be worth much more than face value. But let's not forget that the value of a coin is also heavily influenced by its condition. Coins that were in circulation for years tend to show signs of wear and tear, including scratches, discoloration, and loss of fine details. A coin that has been in circulation for decades is typically worth only a few dollars, even if it has a rare mint mark. However, if you manage to find a 1982 Washington quarter in excellent condition, with little to no wear, it could be worth much more. Uncirculated coins, or coins that have never been used in transactions, are always more valuable to collectors. These coins retain their original luster and fine details, making them more desirable. Now, let's talk about one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting: error coins. Minting errors are a common phenomenon in coin production, and they often result in highly sought-after coins. These errors can take many forms: double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and even coins that are struck on the wrong type of planchet, the metal disc used to create the coin. For the 1982 Washington quarter, errors are relatively rare, but they do exist. A coin with a minting error can significantly increase its value, depending on the type and rarity of the error. For example, imagine coming across a 1982 Washington quarter with a double strike, where the design on the coin has been struck twice, resulting in a blurred or overlapping image. This type of error can be incredibly valuable to collectors because it makes the coin one of a kind. Other errors, like off-center strikes, can also increase the value of the coin. These errors make the coin unique and highly collectible, which is why they often sell for much higher prices than regular, error-free coins. Speaking of value, let's get to the heart of the matter. How much is a 1982 Washington quarter really worth? As with any coin, the value depends on a number of factors, including the condition, mint mark, and any potential errors. A typical 1982 Washington quarter in average, circulated condition might only be worth a few dollars, certainly not much more than its face value. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated condition, particularly one with a rare mint mark, such as the S mint mark from San Francisco, the value could increase significantly. But here's the real kicker: if you happen to find a 1982 Washington quarter with an incredibly rare error or one in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a coin worth a substantial amount of money. Some of the highest-priced 1982 Washington quarters have sold for upwards of $100,000. That's right, $100,000 for a single coin. These prices are typically reserved for the rarest and most perfect examples of this quarter, particularly those with minting errors or exceptional features. It's important to note that the market for rare coins fluctuates, and the value of any given coin can change over time depending on demand, condition, and collector interest. However, the fact remains that a 1982 Washington quarter, especially one with a rare feature, can be worth a significant amount of money. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone who has just inherited a jar of old coins, it's worth taking the time to carefully examine your 1982 quarters to see if you have a hidden treasure on your hands. In conclusion, the 1982 Washington quarter dollar is a more valuable coin than most people realize. With its unique history, the change in composition, the possible minting errors, and the rare proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, this quarter holds a special place in the world of numismatics. If you're lucky enough to find a 1982 Washington quarter in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a rare mint mark or error, you could be holding onto something worth $100,000. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection, or you come across some change from the 1980s, don't overlook that 1982 quarter. It might just be a lot more valuable than you think. Today's video is a must-watch. We're going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins that you might have overlooked in your pocket change, the 1981 Washington quarter dollar. While most of us think of quarters as nothing more than small change used for parking meters or vending machines, the 1981 Washington quarter has a different story to tell, one of rarity, unique history, and potentially a huge return for collectors. Now, before you dismiss the idea of a quarter being worth anything more than 25 cents, let's take a moment to reflect on the significance of the Washington quarter in the history of U.S. currency. The Washington quarter, introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, has been a staple of American coinage for decades. On the obverse of the coin, we have the timeless image of George Washington, the first President of the United States. This portrait, created by John Flanagan, has remained relatively unchanged over the years, becoming an iconic symbol of American leadership and patriotism. But today, we're not just here to admire its design. We're here to explore why the 1981 Washington quarter dollar is so sought after and why it holds significant value in the world of numismatics. You may be surprised to learn that this particular coin, though often overlooked, can fetch much more than its face value in the right conditions. The key to unlocking the value of this coin lies in several factors, such as the condition, mint mark, and the subtle, yet rare features that make the 1981 quarter unique. To understand why the 1981 Washington quarter is so valuable, let's take a look at the historical context in which it was minted. The early 1980s in the United States were a time of economic change and challenges. The country was recovering from the 1970s stagflation, which saw high inflation and unemployment rates, along with the effects of the 1973 oil crisis. By 1981, the U.S. had a new president, Ronald Reagan, who was focused on reversing the economic downturn with his policy of tax cuts, deregulation, and military expansion. In the midst of these political and economic shifts, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins like the 1981 Washington Quarter for circulation. Interestingly, the year 1981 marked the final year of a specific type of coinage production. The composition of U.S. coins, including the Washington Quarter, was still based on a copper-nickel alloy after the removal of silver from coins in 1965. This composition change, which was a response to rising silver prices, made the coins cheaper to produce but also less valuable in terms of their metal content. However, the value of the 1981 quarter doesn't just lie in its metal, it's the condition, minting variations, and rare features that give this coin its true worth. Like many coins from this era, the 1981 Washington Quarter was minted in multiple locations across the country. These mint marks, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco, help identify where the coin was produced. The P mint mark, which signifies the Philadelphia Mint, is the most common for this year's quarters. The D for Denver is also relatively common, but what collectors are often looking for is the elusive S mint mark. Quarters from the San Francisco Mint were struck as proof coins, meaning they were produced for collectors rather than for circulation. Proof coins are carefully struck multiple times to create a sharp, mirror-like finish, which gives them a much higher quality compared to regular circulation coins. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are particularly valuable when they are in perfect condition, and 1981 Washington Quarters with this mint mark are no exception. Proof coins from this era are often more expensive than their regular circulation counterparts because they were made with the highest level of craftsmanship. If you have a 1981 Washington Quarter with the S mint mark in excellent condition, it could be worth significantly more than face value. But it doesn't end there. The key to unlocking even greater value lies in the condition of the coin. As any coin collector knows, the condition of a coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins that were used in circulation tend to show wear and tear. This includes scratches, discoloration, and loss of detail, all of which can reduce the coin's value. However, a coin that has been preserved in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in daily transactions, is far more valuable. Uncirculated coins retain their original luster and sharp details, making them highly sought after by collectors. So, what makes a 1981 Washington Quarter truly rare and valuable? Well, it all comes down to the condition, mint mark, and any unique features or errors that might exist on the coin. Errors in minting can greatly increase the value of a coin, and the 1981 Washington Quarter is no exception. Minting errors can range from minor issues, such as a slight misalignment or die cracks, to more extreme errors, like double strikes or off-center strikes. These types of mistakes can make a coin incredibly rare and valuable to collectors who specialize in error coins. Imagine finding a 1981 Washington Quarter with a double strike, where the design has been stamped twice, creating an overlap or misalignment. Such a coin is a true anomaly and could command a premium price. Even more common errors, like a misaligned die or a slight off-center strike, can increase the value of the coin. Collectors are always on the lookout for these types of rare and unique coins, and if you happen to find one of these error coins, you could be holding a treasure. Now, you might be wondering, how much could a 1981 Washington Quarter actually be worth? Well, here's the exciting part. A typical 1981 Washington Quarter, even in uncirculated condition, might fetch around a few dollars. However, if you have a rare proof coin with the S mint mark, or a coin with a minting error or other unique feature, the value could be significantly higher. In fact, certain 1981 Washington Quarters have sold for as much as $90,000. That's right, $90,000 for a single quarter. You might be thinking, is this really possible? The answer is yes. Coins like the 1981 Washington Quarter, particularly those with rare features or in exceptional condition, can fetch amazing prices in the right market. Numismatics is a field where rarity, condition, and uniqueness determine a coin's value, and a coin that stands out from the rest can command a premium price. So, if you have a collection of old coins or if you come across a 1981 Washington Quarter in your daily transactions, make sure to take a closer look. Check the mint mark, inspect the condition, and keep an eye out for any errors or unique features that could make your coin valuable. Who knows? You might just have a rare gem on your hands, worth a lot more than the 25 cents stamped on it.in. Conclusion: the 1981 Washington Quarter dollar is much more than just a piece of pocket change. Its value lies in its condition, mint mark, and the potential for rare minting errors. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual coin enthusiast, this coin is one that could be hiding in plain sight. If you find one of these quarters in pristine condition, or if you happen to come across one with a rare error or mint mark, it could be worth an incredible amount of money. So, the next time you're going through your spare change or looking through your coin collection, don't forget to check for that 1981 Washington Quarter. It could be worth $90,000. Today, we're going to explore a coin that has often flown under the radar but has caught the attention of numismatists and collectors alike, the 1984 Washington Quarter dollar. While most of us might think of quarters as nothing more than pocket change, the 1984 Washington Quarter has a fascinating story to tell, especially when it comes to its potential value. So, if you've ever wondered if your old quarters could be worth more than just their face value, stick with us because this one just might surprise you. The Washington Quarter has been an iconic coin in American history ever since it was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This coin has become one of the most recognizable in American coinage, with the portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan remaining largely unchanged over the years. Over time, the Washington Quarter has gone through several design and composition changes, but it has always maintained its importance as one of the key denominations in U.S. currency. But today, we're focusing on a specific year, 1984. Now, you may be thinking, why should a 1984 Washington Quarter be worth more than just 25 cents? The answer lies in a few important details. When we think about valuable coins, we often focus on rare years, unique mint marks, or special editions. And while the 1984 Washington Quarter may not seem all that rare at first glance, it's important to understand the context behind the coin and the factors that contribute to its value. The first thing to know about the 1984 Washington Quarter is that it was minted during a transitional period in the United States. The country was coming out of the economic turbulence of the 1970s and moving into the 1980s, a decade of economic expansion and political change. Ronald Reagan had just been elected president, and his policies focused on tax cuts, military buildup, and deregulation. This shift in leadership was accompanied by the beginning of an economic recovery after the challenges of the previous decade. In terms of coinage, 1984 was part of a period when the U.S. Mint was still producing coins made primarily from a copper-nickel alloy, a composition that had been introduced in 1965 after the removal of silver from regular coinage. For many years, U.S. coins, including the Washington Quarter, were made with a mixture of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, rising silver prices led to the mint changing the composition of its coins to a copper-nickel clad, which was much cheaper to produce. While this change in composition did lower the intrinsic value of the coin, it didn't take away from its historical and collectible appeal. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1984 Washington Quarter so interesting in the world of coin collecting. One of the most important factors that affect a coin's value is the condition it's in. Coins that have been in circulation for many years often show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and loss of sharp details. However, coins that have been well preserved, especially those that have never been in circulation, can be worth much more than their face value. These coins are referred to as uncirculated or mint state coins. Uncirculated 1984 Washington Quarters are more desirable because they retain their original luster and detailed features. These coins look almost brand new, even though they were struck over 30 years ago. Finding a 1984 Washington quarter in perfect condition is no easy task. Many of the coins that were circulated in the 1980s have seen heavy use, and the wear and tear can diminish their value significantly. However, if you manage to find one that has been well preserved or carefully stored, you're looking at a coin with much higher potential value. Another factor that increases the value of the 1984 Washington quarter is the mint mark. The mint mark is a small letter found on the coin that tells you where it was produced. For the 1984 Washington quarter, the most common mint marks are D for the Denver Mint and P for the Philadelphia Mint. However, there is also an important S mint mark, which was used for proof coins produced by the San Francisco Mint. These proof coins were struck specifically for collectors, and they were produced with a special process that created a high-quality, mirror-like finish. Because of their superior quality, proof coins are generally much more valuable than regular circulation coins. If you find a 1984 Washington quarter with the S mint mark, particularly in proof condition, it is considered a much rarer and more desirable coin. Proof coins are carefully handled and stored, meaning they're usually in excellent condition. If you happen to have one of these in your collection, you may have something worth a significant amount of money beyond the condition and mint mark. There's something else that makes the 1984 Washington quarter especially interesting: the possibility of mint errors. Mint errors are mistakes that occur during the production process, and they can make a coin much more valuable to collectors. These errors can range from something as simple as a misaligned die or a double strike to more unusual and extreme mistakes, like an off-center strike or a blank planchet error. If you find a 1984 Washington quarter with a minting error, you could have a very rare and valuable coin on your hands. Mint errors are highly sought after because they represent a mistake that no other coin has, making them unique and collectible. For example, a double-struck coin occurs when a coin is struck by the press more than once, resulting in two overlapping images. This type of error is very interesting to collectors, as it can be a one-of-a-kind piece. Similarly, a coin that has been struck off-center, where the design doesn't line up properly, can be very valuable, as it is a rare anomaly. Collectors who specialize in error coins would be willing to pay a premium for such a piece. Now, you may be wondering just how much a 1984 Washington quarter could actually be worth. As mentioned, a typical 1984 Washington quarter in good condition will be worth very little more than face value. However, as the coin's condition improves and the rarer qualities like the mint mark and errors come into play, the value skyrockets. If you have a 1984 Washington quarter that is uncirculated or proof, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than just 25 cents. And if you happen to find a coin with a rare minting error or an extremely rare S mint mark proof coin, the value could be substantial. In fact, a rare 1984 Washington quarter in exceptional condition could be worth as much as $80,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $80,000 for a single 1984 Washington quarter, but only if it's in outstanding condition or has a unique feature, such as a rare mint mark or a mint error. So, what should you do if you have a 1984 Washington quarter or if you come across one in your spare change? First, take a close look at the coin and examine its condition. Is it in uncirculated condition, with no signs of wear? Does it have an S mint mark, signifying it was a proof coin? Could it have a minting error that makes it unique? If so, you could have a highly valuable coin on your hands. In conclusion, while the 1984 Washington quarter may seem like just another piece of pocket change, it has the potential to be so much more. Whether it's an uncirculated coin, a proof coin with an S mint mark, or even a rare error coin, the value of the 1984 Washington quarter can be quite surprising. If you're lucky enough to find one in perfect condition or with a rare feature, it could be worth $80,000. Today, we're diving into the world of U.S. coinage to explore an exciting and often overlooked piece, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar. It might seem like just another quarter, but hold on. This little coin from 1979 could be worth far more than its 25-cent face value. If you've ever wondered what makes certain quarters more valuable than others, this is the video for you. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be shocked by just how much your 1979 Washington quarter could be worth. The Washington quarter is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. With its clean and recognizable design featuring George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, this coin has been circulating since its introduction in 1932. But today, we're focusing on a particular year, the 1979 Washington quarter. The 1979 quarter is part of a time in U.S. history when the country was experiencing significant changes, both politically and economically. The 1970s was a decade of turbulence in the U.S., with economic struggles, the energy crisis, and political scandals, including the Watergate scandal. In 1979, President Jimmy Carter was in office, and the country was navigating through these challenges while also gearing up for a new decade of change. For coin collectors, the late 1970s and early 1980s are a period of great interest, as certain coins from this era were minted with unique features that make them especially desirable today. Now, let's talk about the 1979 Washington quarter in more detail. One of the most important factors that influence the value of a coin is its rarity. While the 1979 Washington quarter was produced in large quantities, it is still considered valuable due to the fact that, over time, many of these coins have been heavily circulated and worn down. Coins that have been in regular use for decades often show signs of wear and tear, such as scratches, faded details, and discoloration, but what sets the 1979 Washington quarter apart from others is the possibility of finding one in pristine or uncirculated condition. If you happen to find a 1979 quarter that hasn't been in circulation or shows minimal signs of wear, it could be worth far more than its face value. Uncirculated coins, which are coins that have never been used in everyday transactions, are highly sought after by collectors because they preserve their original luster and sharp details. These coins are much rarer than their circulated counterparts and command a premium price in the marketplace. The condition of a coin is often rated using a grading scale, which ranges from poor to mint state. A coin that is graded as mint state or MS is considered to be in excellent condition, with no visible wear or damage. If you come across a 1979 Washington quarter that is graded in mint state, you're looking at a coin that could potentially fetch a much higher price than a typical 25-cent quarter. Another key factor to consider when evaluating the value of the 1979 Washington quarter is its mint mark. The mint mark indicates where the coin was produced, and it's an important detail for collectors. The 1979 quarter was minted at 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint have no mint mark, while those produced at the Denver Mint have a D mint mark, and those produced at the San Francisco Mint carry an S mint mark. Generally speaking, coins minted at the Philadelphia and Denver Mints are more common than those produced at the San Francisco Mint. This makes the 1979 Washington quarter with the S mint mark particularly interesting to collectors. The San Francisco Mint is known for producing proof coins, which are coins made specifically for collectors rather than for circulation. Proof coins are struck multiple times to create a high-quality finish, resulting in coins that have a shiny, mirror-like appearance. Because of their higher quality and limited production, 1979 Washington quarters with the S mint mark are particularly valuable. In addition to the mint mark, another important aspect that could increase the value of the 1979 Washington quarter is the possibility of mint errors. Mint errors occur when there is a flaw in the production process, such as a misaligned die, double strike, off-center strike, or incorrect metal composition. These errors are rare, and coins with mint errors are often highly coveted by collectors due to their unique characteristics. If you happen to find a 1979 Washington quarter with a mint error, you could have a very valuable coin on your hands. One of the most common mint errors seen in coins from this era is the double strike error. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the minting press, resulting in a blurred or overlapping image. Double-struck coins are very collectible and often carry a premium price in the market. Another potential error to look for is an off-center strike, which occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, leaving part of the design off the edge of the coin. Off-center strike errors can be quite dramatic, making them even more desirable to collectors. So, what does all this mean in terms of actual value? A regular 1979 Washington quarter in good condition might be worth just a little more than its face value. However, as we mentioned earlier, the key factors that can significantly increase its worth include the coin's condition, its mint mark, and any unique minting errors it may have. If you're fortunate enough to have a 1979 Washington quarter that is in uncirculated or mint condition, or if it carries the S mint mark, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds of dollars. But if you happen to find a 1979 Washington quarter with a rare mint error, like a double strike or off-center strike, your coin could be worth a lot more than you might expect. In fact, for a perfectly preserved 1979 Washington quarter in mint condition, or one with a rare mint error, the value could climb as high as $70,000. That's right, $70,000 for a single 1979 Washington quarter, but only if it's in excellent condition, has a rare mint mark, or features a mint error that sets it apart from other coins. So, what should you do if you find a 1979 Washington quarter? The first thing to do is to carefully examine it. Look for any signs of wear and tear, and check for any mint marks. If the coin appears to be in mint condition or is free of heavy circulation marks, it could be a valuable find. If you come across a coin with the S mint mark, especially if it's a proof coin, you might have just found a real treasure. And if you spot any mint errors, such as a double strike or off-center strike, you could be holding onto something truly rare. In conclusion, while the 1979 Washington quarter may seem like a standard piece of U.S. currency, it has the potential to be much more valuable, depending on its condition and any unique features it may have. Coins from this era are not only fascinating pieces of history, but they also hold the potential for impressive financial value, especially if you know what to look for. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection or digging through a jar of change, take a closer look at your 1979 Washington quarters. You just might be holding onto a coin that could be worth $70,000. Today, we have an exciting topic for you, something that might just turn your collection into a small fortune. We're diving into one of the most intriguing coins from the late 20th century, the 1988 Washington quarter dollar. Yes, you heard that right. This coin, often overlooked by many, has a story that could change the way you think about collecting quarters. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you might be surprised at just how much this quarter could be worth in today's market. Now, let's set the scene. The 1980s were a time of change in the United States, both economically and socially. Ronald Reagan was in office, and the country was experiencing a major economic recovery. The 1988 Washington quarter, minted during this period, represents more than just a regular piece of currency, it's a snapshot of a nation in the midst of transformation. As with all coins, its design reflects the values and times in which it was created. The Washington quarter itself is an iconic part of American coinage. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, it has become one of the most recognizable coins in the world. Featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, the coin is not only a tribute to the nation's first president but also a symbol of the country's enduring ideals of liberty and justice. But the 1988 version of the Washington quarter stands out for several reasons. The design of the coin remained relatively unchanged from earlier years, but that doesn't mean it lacks significance or value. In fact, the 1988 Washington quarter could be worth far more than what you'd expect from a coin minted in such large quantities. The key to its value lies in its rarity, condition, and sometimes even unique minting features that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. Now, let's talk about the production of the 1988 Washington quarter. During this year, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at multiple facilities across the country, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each of these locations placed a mint mark on the coin to indicate where it was struck. The coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those produced in Denver feature a D mint mark, and those from San Francisco carry an S mint mark. As you might imagine, the mintage of these coins was huge. Millions of 1988 quarters were produced for circulation, which makes them relatively common. However, the value of a coin is often determined not just by how many were made, but by how many survived in excellent condition. Over time, quarters that were used in day-to-day transactions were worn down, scratched, and tarnished. It's only a rare few that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, and these are the ones that collectors are eager to find. Uncirculated coins are highly valued in the numismatic world. When a coin is described as uncirculated, it means that it has never been used for transactions and is in the same condition as it was when it left the mint. These coins retain their original shine and sharp features, which makes them much more desirable to collectors than their circulated counterparts. A 1988 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition can command a premium price, but that's not all. It can be worth much more if it has certain unique features. One of the primary factors that influence the value of a coin is its rarity. While the 1988 Washington quarter was minted in large numbers, finding one in uncirculated or near mint condition is not easy. Over the years, most of these coins have been worn down due to circulation, so a coin that has managed to stay in perfect or near perfect condition is a rare find indeed. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these uncirculated beauties, you could be sitting on a small treasure, but it doesn't stop there. Another factor that can increase the value of the 1988 Washington quarter is the presence of mint errors. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, such as a misalignment of the dies, double striking, or incorrect metal composition. These errors are rare, and they make the coins even more collectible and valuable. Mint error coins are often sought after by serious collectors, and finding one with a rare error can dramatically increase the coin's worth. For example, one of the most coveted mint errors is the double strike error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the minting press, resulting in a blurred or overlapping design. Double-struck coins are prized by collectors because they are so unique and offer a glimpse into the fascinating process of coin production. If you happen to find a 1988 Washington quarter with a double-strike error, you could be holding a coin worth significantly more than the typical quarter. Another possible error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned with the dies during the minting process, causing part of the design to be cut off or pushed off the edge of the coin. Off-center strike errors are particularly eye-catching, and collectors love these coins for their unusual and dramatic appearance. If you find a 1988 Washington quarter with this type of error, you might be looking at a rare and valuable piece of numismatic history. So, with all these factors in mind, how much could a 1988 Washington quarter be worth? As we've seen, the value depends on its condition, rarity, and any potential mint errors. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1988 quarter could fetch a respectable price, especially if it's one of the rarer varieties, such as the S mint mark proof coin. But for those who are truly lucky and find a 1988 Washington quarter with a mint error, the potential value could be even higher. In fact, for a coin that is in mint or near mint condition, or one that features a unique mint error, the 1988 Washington quarter could be worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, $60,000 for a single 1988 Washington quarter, if it meets the right criteria. Whether it's a pristine, uncirculated coin or one with a rare mint error, the value of these quarters can really add up if you know what to look for. So, what should you do if you come across a 1988 Washington quarter in your collection or while browsing through your spare change? First, take a close look at the condition of the coin. Is it uncirculated, with no signs of wear or damage? If so, it might be worth more than you think. Next, check the mint mark. If it's from the San Francisco Mint, with the S mint mark, that's a good sign that your coin could be a proof coin, which can be more valuable. And finally, keep an eye out for any mint errors, such as double strikes or off-center strikes. These are the features that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. In conclusion, while the 1988 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin, it has the potential to be a valuable piece of numismatic history. Whether it's in perfect condition, carries a rare mint mark, or features a mint error, this coin could be worth much more than you'd expect. So, the next time you're sifting through your change or going through your collection, remember that the 1988 Washington quarter could be a hidden gem worth $60,000. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next one.